Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stump back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we have the worldwide celebration characters, dual unit, Luffy and Lucci, and Zoro and Kaku, available from the 25th onwards. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the Luffy and the Lucci character. I'm going to be doing a separate video for both these characters. Obviously, they are anniversary exclusives. I believe they're both anniversary exclusives anyway. At least the Luffy and the Lucci is going to be anniversary exclusive, and then the Zoro and Kaku might just be like a regular batch, but look, we'll get a little bit more information on that later. I might do a short, see how we go. But as you can see, from the 25th of February, we're going to be getting these characters, so let's dive in. Alright, so as I mentioned, we're going to be breaking down the Luffy and Lucci in today's video. They are a fighter and a shooter, Dex quick-based character, dual units. So they decided to go dual units with these units, and look, it makes sense because, like, we just had Pikqchu as Shark. We're probably going to get, like, a Pikqchu S Hawk or a Pikqchu S Bear, as this is the scene where Lucci and Luffy team up to take down one of the Seraphim, and then obviously same with the Lucci, the Zoro and the Kaku unit. So very interesting stuff that they are a shooter-based character. I do believe that the Lucci variation is probably going to be the like fighter-shooter, and then Luffy's going to be like fighter-free spirit. But we'll have to wait and see when we get the characters in-game, but that's what I believe they are right now. Shout out to Shiro for the infograph. I do like using these because he does a really good job of just sort of putting everything in perspective, and I don't have to sort of scroll too much. As you can see, it completely ignores barriers at level 5. I imagine this means that, like, if you're at like max HP, you can ignore barriers. Final tap, and then a 70% chance for extra damage with critical hit. 70% chance is pretty low, but obviously when you see what they do, buffing crit, like, that's going to go up. We have a lot of characters that give that extra buff, so this can actually get to 100%. I would just rather the character have 100% chance to crit, if I'm being honest, but, like, look, that's sort of where we are. So let's take a look at the solo captains. He's actually put the solo captains here too, which is awesome. When you are Luffy or Lucci, you both get 2 turns of cooldowns at the start of the quest. Fighters, shooters, free spirit, and slashers HP. So Lucci might be a shooter slasher, which is very interesting. HP 1.3 times, attack by 5 times. Boost their attack by 5.5 when HP is 70% or above when you're Luffy, 30% or below when you're Lucci. So you can, like, obviously maximize this with switches and stuff like that. Reduces special reverse by 10 turns for both of them. Recovery and tandem orbs are matching, and if crew hits barrier pierce, reduces resilience and defense up by 1 when landing a perfect strike. So very similar to Ben Lucky Roo, the Treasure Map Frankie character. If you hit a perfect and barrier pierce activates, you don't actually need to actually go through the barrier. Like, just any character that has barrier pierce, so any basically old school shooter really benefits from this. It works out really nicely because then you can remove 1 turn of defense up and resilience. When you're in their dual form, you always get a 5.5 times attack boost. Everything else seems to be the same. Attack by 6 times when HP is 70% above or 30% below. So you get the double whammy there. The special reverse is still there. Recovery and tandem orbs are still there. And if you hit a perfect when barrier pen is active, remove resilience and defense up by 1 turn. So they didn't increase that, which is a little bit annoying. I wish that they went up to like 2 turns. The reason that Ben Beckman Lucky Roo is so good, they do like literally all of the effects, which is great. And obviously if you run 2 of these characters, you can get 2 turns of it if you're running 2 captains. So there's also that, but this is actually a really nice addition because this character has captain shift, so you can use this to your advantage. Getting around resilience is probably the big one, to be honest, like just hitting with perfects. So the character has 5 turns of resilience, you just slap like 5 characters that have final tap, that have barrier pierce, and then you can just remove all that resilience. But like nowadays, resilience is just so easy to get around with like end of turn damage, and that's 99% of the time that's what you're using like a final tap that has end of turn damage, or using an end of turn damage buff that's like a support, like for example support Rogue with Mihawk. It's just the easiest way to bypass resilience. But when you have like barriers and then resilience, I could see this having some sort of effect. I would have liked it if this was resilience and barriers, not defense up, but at the end of the day, like it's what we have, it's what we're rocking with. Special on a 15 turn cooldown deals 300 times their attack in non-type damage to 1 enemy, which is annoying. I wish it was to everyone, but I understand why it's 1 enemy. Reduces special bind by 7 turns if captain is Dex, fighter, or slasher. So I believe they have to be a Dex fighter, quick fighter, Dex slasher, or Dex slasher. Gotcha, quick slasher. Allows the crew to stack 2 conditional boosts for 1 turn. And then if the captain is a Dex or quick shooter free spirit class, sets the set target at a 1.75 times attack boost, and -1 cooldown when defeating with normal attacks to all enemies for 1 turn, and then becomes Luffy and Lucci. So very similar to Cross Guild, obviously getting that ability to set target. It's a 1.75. It's not as good as Cross Guild, not as good as Usopp with the 2 times, but like having a double stacking conditional boost with 7 turns of special bind removal, that's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. So obviously you're gonna need your captain to be like Dex Dex or Quick, and then have 2 of these classes, either like Fighter Free Spirit, Shooter Slasher, Shooter Fighter, and obviously if you're running like this guy as a captain, like you're going to have that no matter what. Other characters that I can think of that are going to be very, very good for this, like you have the Verse Luffy from Verse Kaido, and Luffy, that's another character that's just going to work exceptionally well as like a hybrid option if you guys aren't summoning for this particular unit. So you will have other options, like there's other characters that are going to be able to allow you to get the full benefits of what this character's doing. And this is a lot of damage, man, like 2 conditional boosts as well as the set target. Like these are very, very niche buffs, damage buffs that don't really exist in the game. And like I said, special blind's always nice too. The final type reduces resilience by 3 turns, boosts base attack by 2,500 at level 5. It's dog shit. Like this is like one of the worst final types I've ever seen. The base stat thing, I can accept the base attack thing. I don't like it. I'm not here for it. I don't think anyone wants that. But the 3 turns of resilience makes like almost near 0 sense. It makes a little bit of sense because like with their with their captain ability, they're removing resilience with barrier pierce, and then obviously their final tap removes the extra 3 turns, so like then that kills. And in theory, right, you could get 9 turns of resilience removal with these characters. Like that is definitely feasible. But at the same time, it doesn't matter when you have end of turn damage. Like, again, there's like the Dreadnought Saber Ship, end of turn damage. You have the support Railroad Mihawk, Suru, also doing end of turn damage. Like, these sort of shit, it's just not needed. The only time it's needed is if there's a barrier. It's the only time I've run into a problem with resilience is when there's a barrier. So, it's, like I said, just so dumb. They have an EX Super when you enter their dual form via the Captain Shift. And the crew has 3 of the following characters, basically any of the Straw Hat characters and then any of the CP9 units. Plus you have Stussy, Bonnie, and Kuma. So that's kind of fun. Changes all crew slots, including block to tandem. Changes their own slot, including block and super block to tandem. And then applies the conditional boost for delay and paralysis by 2.25. And then optionally removes the captain swap, changing Dex and Quick to Super Dex and Super Quick. So you guys either get 2 super types. It's kind of whatever. The downside to this is like it's great they give the conditional buff, but they don't apply the condition. Like, so you have to bring someone that can give delay or can give paralysis to get this effect, and most of the characters that do that are already providing that conditional buff. So it's a bit of a weird one. Like delay kind of like counters clashes with a lot of Usopp characters that you probably run for the shooter teams. Paralysis, like I can't really think of any like slashes that do paralysis or shooters that do paralysis, but look, I'm sure there's some out there. The one I can think of is like Stussy. What does Stussy do? But I believe isn't she driven cerebral, so she's not really going to work. The treasure map legend, so she's really not going to work there anyway. But obviously you have the rare recruits that are going to help these units, and then obviously Zoro and Kaku, they're probably going to work with this particular character as well. The captain shift up to 2 times. If Luffy is the captain, you can switch to Luffy. You swap with the middle right for 10 turns, and then vice versa. If you're Lucci in the middle right, you swap to Luffy. You get 10 turns of you switch for 10 turns, and then you reduce crew's switch effect by 2, boosting the critical rate by 30% for 3 turns. This is what I was talking about earlier. Their 70% is now 100%. So now you can do some fun stuff with like Shanks and his ability to Roger Ellie Gaban, where you can like remove defensive effects with critical hits. But I feel like with these abilities, they're just trying to do too much and trying to find different ways to bypass shit we already have. And it's like, that's great. It's intuitive. It's a little bit fun, but at the same time, like, I'd just rather do it the easy way. This is not the easy way. So another captain shift character though that goes in the middle right. Again, very similar to Roger Ellie. Their switch is going to remove their own special bind by 7 turns and changes adjacent orbs to tandem, boosting base attack by 500 for 1 turn. They give 1 turn of cooldown at the start of the quest for the entire crew, and then a base attack of all units by 125, recovery and tandem slots are matching for the crew as well. The 1 turn of cooldown just is the big giveaway of why this character is an anniversary exclusive. I don't think that Zoro and Kaku have this, so that's why I don't believe that they are that. So as a whole, like, this unit, like, they're a good unit. They're definitely worthy of anniversary exclusive, but at the same time, like, the worldwide celebration has just always been so lackluster with stuff. Like, they're reading this character, besides the 7 turns of special bind, which we've literally just got Sabo, who has 10 turns special bind, like 2 months ago for the New Year's batch, and like that Sabo has been so valuable in the last couple of months. Like the 7 turns, like, why not just make 10? Like, it just, why go backwards? And I understand, like, anniversary exclusives aren't meant to be on the same tier as Super Sugos, but like, besides that special bind, this character's just providing damage, and at the same time, they're not providing all the damage you want. Like, instead of giving like the tandem orbs in the base attack in the switch, or even giving like the crit rate plus 30% for 3 turns in their shift. Like, why don't they just delay? Like, why don't they just give the delay in that that shift ability? Like, it just makes 0 sense to just give that crit buff when we really want to have like conditional buffs. Like that's the goal, right? We want that condition for the conditional buff that we're already getting. So very, very strange that they did this, and when they could have just made this character just a little bit better, in my opinion, in regular play. But overall, like, they're good. They're going to see play, but it's a Luffy. Like, it's probably going to get power crept. And at the end of the day, like, we wanted Luffy versus Lucci, not a Julian, but it is what it is. All right, so let's take a look at them in Rumble. Rumble's where I'm pretty excited for these characters because anniversary exclusives, they get the super specials. We got other anniversary exclusives coming back, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Their CT on a 31-second cooldown boosts shooter allies by level attack 6, and then targets 1 Psi powerhouse enemy for 8,000 damage. Targets 2 enemies with low current HP, ignoring the defense of 1.4 times for 2 turns. So this is basically just designed to target Esper. They basically just, that one line there that says targets 1 Psi powerhouse enemy for 8,000 damage is designed to hit Esper. I really like that they're boosting shooter allies. Ironically, like, you would run Esper on your shooter team, so that's kind of funny. And then target 2 enemies with low current HP that ignores defense for 1.4 times. For two hits is actually really, really strong, especially because they're giving attack to themselves for 15 seconds, and then in their passive they're also getting level 7 attack, defense, speed for shooters, and then first 20 seconds shooter allies get the level 5 CT speed up. So you're going to get their special a little bit faster, which works out pretty nicely. They're immune to forced out. They reduce damage from shooters and strikers by 30%, and then they also have a super special which targets shooter allies attack and defense up by level 7. I believe this is at level 5 as well. After you use 2 specials, they target 2 Psi powerhouse characters for 10,000 damage, and then targets all 2 enemies for low HP, ignoring defense for 1.6 times attack. So, like, they're not too crazy, honestly. Like, in PvP, like, if you see S-Bear on a team and you're just like, hey, I've got this guy on my shooter team, and you decide to run shooters because you see S-Bear, like, that's going to be pretty funny. Other, like, Psi powerhouse characters, I can't really, like, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anyone that is, like, super crazy within the meta. Like, Psi is really in a weird spot. Maybe Garp. Garp might be, I don't know if Garp's powerhouse, though. He might be fighter, free spirit. I know he's definitely a fighter, but I can't remember what his other class is. So, like, besides S-Bear, like, there's not any other characters that you're actually hitting with these guys, so a bit of a downside there. But overall, like, they can be run, and I do like that they're buffing shooters, because, like, some of these classes, like, really, really need help. Like, definitely need help. And look, that goes the same for regular play. The fact that they're a shooter character, it's really, really good to see. Fighters, obviously, we're getting a lot of buffs with the New Year's batch as well, so it's good to see that we can sort of funnel these characters into there. But again, it's another Luffy, man. Like, you're going to run this guy over New Year's Luffy? Like, just, to me, I would say no, like a big no-no. But like I said, it's kind of cool that we are getting more egghead representation. It's just a shame that this is there. But let me know your thoughts of this character down below. I think they're good. They're okay. Like, they're nothing too crazy. 7.5 out of 10 if I had to rank them somewhere. But look, we'll obviously see how they rock within content and how they go in actual play. And what other characters they can synergize with. Me reading their abilities is all great and hunky-dory, but what other characters they're going to synergize with within the meta and within team building. But right now, like, off the top of my head, I just can't really think of anyone that is just going to sort of walk in on their team and just help them out a great deal when it comes to other conditional buffs. But let me know what you guys think down below. While you're down there, bell like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later!